Hello, all you beautiful gamers. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the Respawn Recap. Hello, Zan.
Hello, Jake. Glad to be back.
Yes, man. Good to have you back. If you guys don't know, once per week we recap all of the craziest stories. Let's get it rolling. And obviously one of the biggest looming issues out there, that being DMCA notices and takedown requests taking over all of Twitch, despite a few people out there. I think we've seen most figures, XQC, Soda Poppin', we got Pokimane, and a lot of top streamers out there choosing to delete everything. Meanwhile, we got a few rebels out there. Nick Mercs and Cypher are amidst the very few that are choosing not to delete anything so far.
It's an interesting move on their part, and one that I can almost see the logic behind, because in the way that Twitch has not provided any information on what exact content has been claimed, I mean, Twitch definitely knows. That's part of the legal process of submitting a DMCA. The DMCA has to include the exact info. So, you know, maybe they're in the right here, Nick Mercs.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part, because there are a few people out there probably knowing the technical things. They're really behind the scenes nitty gritty, but for a large portion of us, it's that lack of communication that has people like Tim the Tatman freaking out and nuking everything. Dr. Lupo doing the same exact. So we're seeing a very few streamers out there doing pretty much nothing, but a bulk majority of them deleting all of these memories, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of clips.
Millions. Yeah, you can't possibly go back through all of that and be like, oh, hey, this one should be fine. Let me save that and delete 800,000 others. It's crazy.
Yeah, and we don't know what we're waiting for, but something probably coming next. What that is, we're going to find out if Cypher and Nick Mercs are going to regret not deleting things. And obviously one of the boldest takes we saw in the past week or so, that being from Alex Hutchinson, hashtag #BangBangClick. If you guys don't know, certainly a bit of a debatable one. It was a very lackluster debate on streamers should pay to stream the games they play.
Which I think out of the gate, everybody can agree with. No, that's just not a good idea.
A majority of people can agree with. I know there's a few people out there. If you guys want to leave your comments as to why you disagree, feel free to do so. Just want to open the door for that one.
Yeah, there's no way to properly do that across the entire streaming industry. It'd be way too difficult to really integrate. We're too far down the rabbit hole in the streaming economy. There's no way to go to Tim the Tatman and say, hey, pay us $500 for streaming our game, and then go to, I don't know, Little Steven trying to start his Twitch account with 5 followers and being like, yeah, pay us $500 to stream our game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and a thing we focused on the podcast, I think even further down the rabbit hole of what Alex's follow-up tweet was, he thinks a percentage of the revenue the streamers get should go back to the devs, and that's where I really wanted to hold the phone. So for anyone out there who somehow missed the debate, Summit 1G, tons of streamers out there have now given official responses, and I would say again, a by far majority agree that streamers should not pay to play the video games they do. There is a mutual benefit for both the developer and the streamer. And Pokimane finally said it this past week, not near as controversial as some might think. She was actually talking about a recent donation she got from someone who apparently works at a Starbucks. That person said, hey, if you want to stop by the Starbucks, I'll give you a free coffee, to which she responded, and it was kind of taken by some people out there a bit out of context to stop giving people like influencers or people with money free stuff. She was referring to the coffee at the shop.
Which, of course, it makes sense, but at the same time, I'm kind of on the side of the fans who are like, what are you saying? Because, you know, as a fan, if I see somebody I know whose content I enjoy, I would see no problem just saying like, hey, thanks for the content you make, here's a $2 coffee or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a two-way street. I think it actually opened a door to people were taking it in a different way. People were like, okay, how about we stop donating then? And to which that kind of opens a whole new can of worms, not a bag of worms. Oh, God, don't avoid Google.
Throwback.
But either way, it kind of led into a different discussion about people who donate to streamers, which I am not going to judge. And if you want to donate, feel free to support your streamer. It was simply Pokimane talking about people with money getting free stuff outside of donations. So it was kind of a rapid debate out there that was not necessarily too much of a controversial debate.
Yeah, not at the end of the day.
Oh, man, and a spicy story this past week from the Fortnite scene.
Fortnite is so wild, my guy.
These teenagers, man, they are nutty at the game of Fortnite. They are making some big money, and when you make some big money, sometimes you make big mistakes, especially in an atmosphere where Epic Games is kind of just like, yo, that's the playground. You guys go at it.
They took the cookie jar, just put it on the ground and said, go.
Whoever's got the biggest hands, just reach for it. Now, Aqua is actually a former World Cup champion. He won duos, and so obviously a very well-off youngster out there. Unfortunately so, this past week, he was accused of stream sniping. Nothing 100% proven, but also leaving the game during a shakedown, which is against the rules. He was thus actually given a warning for that. He then took to Twitter to joke about being a cheater, which is against the clout farming rules. His warning was then extended to a 14-day ban.
It's so fascinating to me how Fortnite people just read the rules and just be like, Yeah, but let's just not do that though, and just go very publicly.
But to be
ignore what was
fair,
said.
that also meant because Epic Games has not necessarily
Yeah,
been the
hey.
most on point, like yo,
Yeah.
ban,
Totally fair,
ban.
totally fair.
Yeah, so a lot of these people out there, these youngsters, have been getting away with a lot of stuff, and so finally Epic Games has cracked down. Even further so, he is now taking to Twitter to call out a bunch of other pro players, and I've said it already, I just have never seen this before.
Yeah, right. You see, like the homie gets knocked down and immediately tries to drag everybody else down with him.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So eventually, he finally, I think, was talked to by his organization, eventually made an official statement saying sorry for his
Yeah,
actions.
the adult stepped in.
But before that, man, the world was burning. It was very entertaining to see. It's also great to see Epic Games now finally stepping up and backhanding those who clout farm. And finally, reports by Dexerto. Sources
Ooh.
saying we have now officially had a return to an esport from the one and only 100 Thieves, one of the few esports they are currently partaking in, obviously leaving CSGO a couple weeks back, and now reports finally saying it seems that whoever held that spot, whether it was Immortals or Hex, has now sold it to the newly established LA Thieves.
Amazingly exciting. I think we all wanted to see Nadeshot and 100T involved in Call of Duty again, especially with his storied history in the scene. Very excited to see what 100 Thieves brings to the table. Still mildly disappointed that we have 2 California teams now. I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, we still have 2 California teams, but
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what the future of franchising is. CDL
exactly.
says there's a lot of interest, so we'll see what other cities do spark up. Even more so, in one big swoop, we could potentially have Optic back with Chicago Optic, and of course 100 Thieves back in their single best esport, the only esport they actually hold titles in currently. And I honestly think this puts a lot more pressure on 100 Thieves as a brand to end on this. You know, they have a Fortnite roster that's composed of some pretty solid players, but a lot of audience members don't find Fortnite to be an esport. They have now taken back CSGO. They have not been successful in a bit now in League of Legends and have been heavily criticized. They now return to Call of Duty, which is their most notable esport. Pressure is on for these guys.
Can you imagine if they face similar issues that they faced in CSGO with Call of Duty with this new roster? That's going to be a bad look.
You would hope not. With a solid roster, we will see the future of LA Thieves
Knock
if it
on
does happen. And Thieves Esports does continue to be a debate. As per usual, we hope you guys all enjoy the Respawn recap every single week, recapping these wild stories. Zan, you want to show these folks out the door?
Yo, thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic weekend.
Enjoy yourselves, gamers. We'll see you back here soon.